Well, here we are. We're live.
Hello.
Chair?
You know you can lift the chair.
Yeah, I don't know what is it with people in Bali and chairs. I don't know. Do you guys hate the chairs? Furniture. Everything has to be dragged. Rude.
So this is our guest for today, Toko. So me and Chris, we're doing a podcast called
Hey Mom.
This Is Not a Podcast. So very original, very interesting name. It's kind of got a little bit influenced by the title of I'm Not a Coach.
Yes, my Instagram handle, my first comedy special. I'm not a coach. This is not a podcast because most of the time we have no idea what we're doing. And so hence, that's why we're not a podcast. And as first guest today, we have a person that I wanted in this podcast very, very much because she is the person who accepts my penis every night. Yeah, that's right. No, I'm not talking about Renars. I'm talking about Toko, which is my boo face, my girlfriend. And now, before you ask yourself, what is she doing with me? I don't know either. And that's what we're going to find out, possibly. Hello.
Hi, guys. How are you guys doing? Thank you for the great introduction, Chris.
You're welcome.
Just about before we introduced Toko, I just thought, you guys need to tell about that you guys involved with each other because it's just it's the guest. You know, we kind of maintain that relationship.
No, wait. I thought the deal was that I was going to have sex with all the guests.
I think that was the plan.
Right, we have Carlos as the next guest, by the way.
It's fine.
So it's cool. Yeah. That's the plan.
Carlos is going to be very excited.
Yeah.
Cool. So how do we do this? You going to ask questions, I going to ask questions, or you start, and I'm going to go next.
Lazy.
Yeah.
So, Toko.
Yes.
I did some research on you. And by research, I mean living with you for months and months. So you are a model. You come from the pageant world. Mm-hmm. And you come from Africa. So first of all, of course, for the people that are not from Africa, the European, the Australian, the American, Africa has this allure about it. We know nothing about it. We think you live in huts, most of us people. It's not necessarily true. So first of all, tell us a little bit about South Africa and Africa.
Okay, cool. There's still some parts that, like, people still live in huts.
I knew it.
But there's no lions and tigers as pets, just to be honest. So I live in South Africa, and South Africa is actually one of the best developing countries in Africa.
First of all, for the American people, Africa is not a country. All right, it's a continent. Now, you probably don't know what a continent is. Click pause, get a dictionary, and then come back.
By the way, do you know how many countries are in Africa?
40-something?
How many?
I don't know.
Wow, 53.
Almost.
How many in the world?
It's just, huh?
In the world, it's like 147.
Okay.
And the what, sorry?
In the world.
In the world? How many countries in the world?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah, no idea.
We're gonna.
But it's an interesting
this.
fact when people like, oh yeah, how many states in the United States and then how many countries in Africa? A lot. And African, the whole thing is just so much bigger. The territory is so much bigger than it's on the map.
True.
It's crazy.
Yeah, because the map actually, is called the Mercator map, was made under commission of Americans and European, and so it stretches in parts that it shouldn't stretch. For example, Greenland looks almost as big as Africa, but that's not the truth.
Oh,
Yeah.
I don't know.
And now we have a question. So you said there's 53 countries in Africa, right?
Yes.
Name 10 in 15 seconds. Go.
Togo, Mozambique, Nigeria, South Africa, Ghana,
3, 2.
Mozambique. Did I say Mozambique?
You said.
You failed.
I did 5. Okay, go. 1.
Morocco, Algeria,
2,
Tunisia, Congo,
3,
Nigeria, Kenya, South Africa, Tanzania, Congo, Belgium, Congo, which is a different one, Ethiopia. It is.
Okay.
Show off. Anyways, we are going back to South Africa and tell us about your story, please.
South Africa. So, like I said, it's not... One job.
Sorry.
Okay. So it's where I grew up. I grew up in a town, small town.
But it's an important town.
Yeah.
Have you ever seen the movie
Thanks, Togo.
Blood Diamonds?
Yeah, with the DiCaprio, right?
Yes. So she comes from the city of diamonds.
Yes, but it has nothing to do with Blood Diamond movie. Just saying.
Well, it has diamond in the title.
Thanks
Okay,
for this
cool.
input, Chris. Thank
Cool.
you very much.
Okay, I'll shut the fuck up.
Well done. Put
So-
this one.
So my town was known as a mining town for diamonds, and we had for years the deepest man-made hole. It was about 2 kilometers deep from all the digging.
Wow.
Yeah, that was pretty.
I
cool.
date her. That girl. Oh, it was. No. That was a bad joke.
It was terrible.
I know. But I met a couple of girls that probably were deeper than your town. Just saying.
Okay, so Kimberley, very hot. One of the hottest towns because it's part of like the Northern Cape. If you look at the South African map, there's this big ass province, and it's there. It's the hottest one and the biggest one, and I'm from there. Very hot, very dry, but not very developed.
Mm-hmm.
So when I lived at home, I worked in hospitality. I worked for a family restaurant. So they had a guest house and they had a restaurant. And I started there as a waitress and then worked myself up until I even got as far as managing the restaurant, the guest house, and then they expanded to having like a bar at the famous big hole that I was telling you about because it's been turned into a museum. So that you can go and see the big hole.
I
and
also
stuff.
know a few girls that are basically into a museum. The guys need the ticket to get. All right, sorry.
So
I was actually interested in her story. I was like, yeah, that is. Would you say like for you to be promoted and to get to the position where you're like managing? Did you say managing a hotel or?
It was a boutique hotel, so it was quite small rooms, but lots of details.
And it was the most prestigious.
Yes, it was.
The president used to come.
Yes.
Right?
Fun fact: the guest house and the restaurant. Okay, the restaurant was the only 5-star restaurant in the Northern Cape for the longest of time. Why do I sound funny? Do I sound funny to you guys?
Always.
It's good. I just turned down a little bit. Like I think all of us are quite loud.
Oh, because I was like, whoa.
Especially you.
Me?
Your microphone we should be.
Yeah, so 5-star restaurant, and then also the guest house had like 5-6 rooms, but they were very like attention to detail. And then we expanded to the bar, which was at the big hole, which was a museum. Mm-hmm. So I like calling it the historic bar because it still had the same artifacts as the museum.
But this was kind of a side job for you, right? Because your ambition and what you were also concentrating was beauty pageant and modeling. Not
really. So the thing is, when I feel like many people, if you grew up in like South Africa or smaller countries and so forth, you have the dream, but it's not like the forefront. You know you have to work first. So having a job and helping my family was more important. And as much as I enjoyed pageantry, I did it what I could because it cost money too. And as much as it brought money home, which was great, you can't always go to each and every pageant. So I enjoyed doing that. And then the modeling part, because the town that I lived in, like I said, was quite small. So there was no big modeling opportunities. So what you did is do what you have with what
you got. You make a lemonade out of lemons. Exactly.
So
but
that's when it started.
Because she's very modest, and I just want to,
I'll get to that part.
Be cocky for her. So she used to. She came in the top 24 in Miss South Africa.
Oh right.
And also she acted in several countrywide TV commercial, right?
Yes. Oh yeah, I did that too. But that's only much later on when I moved away from home, because I couldn't. My thing was, I felt like there was more to the world than my small town, and I wanted more. But I didn't know how to get to it, so I decided to go and study at one of the most expensive schools. But I was like, if I get in, that's just the way for me to go. So I decided to go to Cape Town, and that's where I started studying for a year and a half until I couldn't continue because of fees. And that is a story for many South Africans. So it's not like, oh, shame, she didn't. It's just like, me too. Okay, cool.
What did you study?
Marketing. Integrated marketing communication.
Right.
Loved it.
And then you can actually use that knowledge for your further jobs. And
no, I could, because the theory was quite useful, especially about the school that I went to was very good in making sure that you understood how amazing or crazy the industry was. So if there was anything that really helped with that was, you know, teaching you about the real world. But after that, I couldn't go back to school. And so I decided to, so I had a lot of...
Sorry. We need to pause. That's why I
I
clicked
know,
the mic.
but I saw it. Like,
Yeah,
it
it's
was
just
10 minutes.
finish the thought.
I was about to
It's
finish
fine,
the...
He kicks
I just kicked
kicks
her.
the mic.
Okay.
This is our first podcast, so it's actually second, but with
It
a
doesn't
guest.
look like it, I know.
I had to drop out of college. And at the time, luckily, I had a few jobs all at the same time. I think I had 3 or 4 jobs at the same time, one of them being retail and others also waitressing at other places and modeling part-time. So my boss then at the retail store was like, oh, you dropped out of college, so why don't you come and work for me full-time? But at the time I was like, thank you, but no thank you. This is not the industry I wanted to be a part of. So I was like, even if I can get my toe into marketing, because I really loved marketing, I was like, I will get into marketing.
How you decided that you like marketing? What was the things that attracted you in that?
Funny story. I was working in the restaurant, right? And the thing that I really enjoyed about working in the restaurant is persuading people to eat things that you know for a fact that they'll never eat again, you know, and just being that salesperson and just stepping in and be like, what would you guys like to eat? And then they'd be like, oh no, I'll have what's a basic starter? A soup, for example. And you'd be like, well, great choice.
We're
Love
gonna consider that.
Love it, but you've been here twice or 3 times or something. But we have the steak tartare, which is fantastic. We have snails. We have or prawns. And like, oh no, because Kimberley is quite conservative, so we were not very experimental with what we eat. So even if we had new things, it would take a while. It's only the people who knew the meals who'd order it, but the locals.
That's a pretty good point, actually, because when I go to a restaurant, I'm still go to the same place almost every day. I order the same dish because I trust it, I know it, I tried it.
I do.
And then if a person would come to me and say, listen, we have this one, and it's like, it's that, and explain what's in there, you know, and that's missing.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Obviously, you have in like proper places or like more, I don't know, where they actually try to sell you food instead of like, here's menu, make a choice.
Yeah, but it's not necessarily just because the item that you're suggesting costs more.
No.
It's because that eventually, if you always go to the same place and you always eat the same thing, you're going to get tired of it, and then you're going to try different places.
Yeah.
Not me. For some reason,
You're a creature of habit.
I am. And certain things, like what I think it's pretty good, I just do the same thing.
And also, like, for example, the couples will come for the anniversary, you know, and stuff. Or first timers, completely. I remember this black couple, and they had come and they'd be eating there. They were going to eat there, and they were not going to have a starter because, again, what do we know about starters, babes? Like, we eat main course, dessert, maybe if you have space, and then we go, you know? And I was like, are you guys not going to have a starters? Like, oh, babes, like, I can't eat anything of this. What's this? Prawns, like, I'm going to have food poisoning. What's the steak tartare? And I'm like, oh, it's raw beef. And I'll explain raw beef, and it's chopped, and it has capers and onions, and, you know, and then I'll say there's a yolk of egg. It's like, what do you mean? Raw? I'm like, yeah, try it out. And I would just say, try it out, and if you don't like it, I'll pay for it.
I like the idea about starters.
Yeah, I did that. Yeah.
Did you actually did it?
Yeah. So to keep people, I'd say that to them when I want them to try something new. I'm like, if you hate it, perfectly fine, but at least you tried it, and I'll take it away. I'll pay for it, and then you can order something else. And many of the times, nobody has ever.
But so you going back, so you decided that you wanted to do marketing.
Yes.
So you
because of these reasons that you like to convince people.
I loved it. I loved making people.
But it's more like a sales, though.
Yes.
It's like being a salesperson.
But I didn't want to do the door-to-door salesperson. My thing was like, what's the sophisticated version of what I'm doing? And then marketing.
So And then basically you started this, which is one of the best schools in Cape Town.
Yeah, in South Africa, also considered in Africa.
Okay.
Yeah.
You didn't finish school.
I didn't finish it because financial problems. But that's the story of many South Africans. It's not oh my God, I couldn't finish my school. It's me too. Cool. What happened? Cool. This is what I'm doing now.
And that didn't stop you though.
Oh fuck no. Oh fuck that shit. I think not being able to finish school made me want and work even harder. There was this lecturer.
Okay, but one thing. So it didn't stop you, and what happened is that you actually. So which position did you leave before coming to Bali?
I'll get to it. Let me tell you about the lecturer because she's very important in this. So I had this lecturer, and because I was many jobs and also modeling at the same time, she one day said to me, "Listen, you won't make it in this industry. You won't get even as close as this agency. I don't even know, because you're wasting our time. You don't have money. It's only people who have money who should be here." And now thinking about it, yeah, I know. That's good. Like, if you don't have the money, why do you
did you notice,
waste?
I can sense, I had a little bit of that as well when I was younger, that people, especially what they say, tell you that you won't be able to do something.
It makes you want to do it.
Fucking prove them that you can do that shit. That's what the queen, with the pageant queen just came out.
It's like, thank you very much for the motivation. Watch me in a few months. I'll be back.
That's the one.
So that was my thing. After a year and a half of having to drop out was also a sense of failure. But I was like, it's not over until the fat lady sings. So I'm gonna show this lady, no matter how long it takes me.
That's such a weird saying, though.
I know. I never.
Fat lady sings. What the hell?
Yeah.
It's not over until the fat lady sings.
Yeah, I know. But then
Americans use it.
It's probably drag queen shit.
No, I don't.
I don't know.
For you, everything is drag queen shit.
The thing that makes me think about it is Harry Potter, when there's this fat lady who sings, But fat women are amazing. Just saying, I'm not,
Queen, not
Queen.
fat.
Where did you go? What happened?
And actually, but that's interesting to me because I always had the opposite problem. So since I was born, I was like the golden boy, and everyone was like, "Oh, you can do anything." And what happened is that I'm a failure as a man, of course, because I'm sitting next to you guys. But what happened is that I always lost interest
Quickly
in everything I did. Like, I would start something, I was getting results, and I'd be like, fuck it, that's too easy, and I would drop it. I never held a job for more than 2 years. Boom.
I had some jobs I held for 4 weeks. I'm not kidding you. While I was in uni, in 4 years, I changed 15 jobs.
Shit. But the thing is that I never dropped a job because I wasn't good at it. I always dropped a job because I was good at it, in a way. So I was like, this is not challenging. Fuck this shit.
Yeah, and I lost interest. I just don't want to do it. At some points, you're like...
Also with women? Sorry, no.
Yes, I know with women, baby. I know, it's okay. I know your life. But
I
maybe
was talking
also
about the present.
But also, again, the saving culture in Black South Africans does not exist.
Well, the lack of saving culture.
No, I feel like just the concept of saving. It's what you have, use it. I remember there were times when my dad would make a lot of money and be gone in a few months, But again, it's not like putting shade on him. It's just that we didn't have the learning to save. So with you guys saying that you could drop a job in a week, it's because it was okay. Like you had something on the side. Babes, being jobless for a day or a week in my world was suicide. Like,
not an option. Just not an option.
Like, why are you even thinking about it? Like, what are you gonna do? How?
Yeah.
So that's one of the things. But going back to answering the first question.
Sorry.
What was the first question?
I don't know.
Do you remember?
You asked it. You were like, what did I end up becoming, even though I didn't get my...
I think people have to know basically what happened. We thought we recorded 20 minutes of Toko telling about her life. We didn't. So we're now trying to kind of recap what is going to... And Chris is falling asleep. You can see that he's losing already interest in this next thing
And
he
he
started
does
doing.
It was
You're
super
so
entertaining.
good.
I'm so pissed.
So
lost it.
we were talking about your town, and we were talking about where you're from.
No, she was getting to the point that so even though she didn't have a degree, even though she was broke as fuck,
Yeah, and I finally, what, 3
she had no
2 years.
qualification. The lecturer said, "What the fuck are you doing here? You don't have the money. You're not gonna end
And
up
you
doing
said,
anything."
I was like, nah, honey, watch the space.
She
And
turned
so-
on the queen and she...
then I started working for my dream company, and I ended up, which was the best advertising company in South Africa.
And still is.
How did
And
you
still
get there?
is. So, like I said, I was working in retail. So one day, I went to
It's
work.
gonna be a good story. So
I went to work, and I was like, he's heard probably most of my stories, so he can just disappear. So I went to work my retail store, and I was like, how am I going to get into advertising? Like, and I just want to get my toe in. Even if I'm like cleaning lady, I would do it.
Yeah.
And I looked for jobs, and because I was not even qualified for it, I was just like, it's not going to work. So I sent a mass email to a lot of, because I was like, which direction do I want to go to? I'm like, digital marketing, let's do that. Because I had interest in it, but I've not done it practically. So I was like, let's try it. So I sent emails to digital marketing agencies around Cape Town, big and small, and many of them didn't respond. But then there was this first one to respond, and then they were like...
But what did you write them?
I don't remember. I was like, hi, I have no experience, no qualification, but I really love marketing and I'm a quick learner. And that's something that people normally say, and I put in my resume to show that, you know, my work experience, so that they know I'm not just a kid who dropped out and who's never even had a work experience. I put my CV in, and I'd say, oh, the most important thing is like, at least call me for an interview. You know, don't discard
Just give me a
this.
chance.
Yeah, just give me a chance. Just talk to me, and then we can take it from there, you know. So this agency was a small digital marketing agency. That was a family. But yes, I sent them a mail, and the director is like, hey, okay, cool, we can meet on this date. He had canceled the date, and then he moved it to another date. Cool. And closer to the time, he doesn't tell me what time. So I'm panicking. I'm like, this guy said the 5th of October, but this guy is not telling me a time. And I sent him an email that morning and the day before and 3 days before. This guy is not saying anything. I was like, fuck that shit. So by 10 that morning, I was like, if I don't hear anything, I'm just going to rock up. And even if I have to sit outside and wait for this man to give me a minute, he said the 5th of October, so I'm here the 5th of October. So I dressed up, looked cute. Well, thinking about it now, I didn't look very cute. But I rocked up. It was raining. It was windy. Went up that floor, sat there, and I was like the receptionist was like, oh, you Toko. Oh, yeah. Brandon is the guy. He's like, didn't he tell you what time? I was like, no. So I'm here to sit. Oh, he's not here at the moment. I was like, I can wait. No problem. I can wait. And so luckily it didn't take that long. Someone else took me in, started talking. They were telling me about the company and I was like, guys, no experience, no degree, but let me work for a month. You don't have to pay me. See my worth, and let's take it from there. And at that time, I couldn't make that decision because if I took that job and I was not paid for the month, I lose my retail job. So I can't because it's the same hours. And then I have to go from there and go to waitress at night, which was...
So you're basically bluffing. This is what this table represents. You're bluffing.
hard. Proper.
Big one.
So yeah, I worked there for a month, and I remember...
You have a question? Every time you want to have a question, you have to do
That's
that.
the Chris button. That's the Renars button.
Hey.
I like that. So I started working there, and then I remember one of the directors... After
So what
a
did
month-
they say? Did they say that they're going to give you some money? They're going to pay you?
No. They were
They
like,
said,
okay,
okay.
cool. Yeah, they could. They were like, okay. But at the end of the month, one of the directors was like, Toko, can I pay you money now? I'm like...
Please.
So it's like, I feel wrong. But because I killed it. And so I was like, no, because I told you, you know?
What? That's even before 1 month was
Damn.
over.
It was when 1 month
Yeah.
was over.
And then after
But you said that you're going to do 1 month for free.
Yeah. But
So-
then that 1 month, like it
they
was...
wanted to pay her for that month.
That I said, don't...
Oh, gotcha.
yes,
Sorry.
yes.
Because you never had a normal job, but usually
Now you're just
you
so loud,
start
Chris.
working, and after the month of work they pay you. They don't pay you before you start working.
Yeah.
That's how it works in real jobs.
Yeah, and then I was there for about 3 years, learned the digital marketing stuff, loved it, tried new things there, and then the interviews were opened for my dream company. I was fucking terrified. It was on Valentine's Day. I looked cute. No, that day I did look cute. Went, had a second interview, and I got the job. And then I was like, fuck this
And
shit.
then after a few months, you got promoted.
Oh, yes. After almost a year. Like, it was not even...
Just carry on. Come on.
It was almost like a year. It was not even a full year yet. And then we were having discussions about me getting promoted and my trajectory in the company.
And then she
that
met
was
me
good.
and all went to shit.
And then I got promoted to account manager, and it was for Volkswagen, which was the biggest client at the agency, which was flippin' amazing.
Yeah. So what exactly happened? Why did you decide not to work there anymore?
I moved to Bali.
Because you came here for a vacation.
I had a quarter life. I think that's what they call it, quarter life crisis in your 20s, when you're like, what is this? What's happening with my life? So
in your 20s, you're 29 now.
Yeah, but I'd been working for so many years at that time. Yes, I'm 29 now, but I've been working for so many years at that time. I was like, I remember one morning and I was like, what is this? You know, I'm just like, is this my life?
And also considering the culture of South Africa, like people, when she decided to come to Bali for a holiday, she came here for 10 days, were giving her so much shit because in South Africa, like, travel is wasting money. Like, what the fuck are you doing? Traveling?
I was like, what?
Right. So for you, the turning point was basically even before you came for the trip.
Yes.
Even then, you already were started. That gut feeling.
It was. It was closer to the end of my year working at the digital marketing agency, and then I thought, and then the advertising, great company, my dream company, opened their vacancies. And I thought, oh, maybe that's the change I needed. Got into the job, started working. It was challenging the first time because, of course, you know, it's a new job. But then after a year, I was like, not even a year, a few months, I was like, is this... Because again, this job, I had job security. Like, I knew that whatever happened, and maybe it's being arrogant, but I worked hard, you know, and I wanted to make sure that I was an asset to my team so that when shit goes for shit, for example, pandemic, you know, if they wanted to get rid or like, I could be recommended or I could keep my job, but I always wanted to be the best in what I did, and I wanted people to know that. So at the time, I was just like, you know what, work, you're going to kill it, blah, blah, blah. But then now I was like...
I have a question.
Yes.
Which is something that I would have done. Like when you got the position of account manager of the biggest marketing firm in South Africa for the biggest client, did you go back to that lecturer and say, now what, bitch?
Oh, that's the best one.
No.
You're too nice.
I am. I think it's just, I don't like confrontation, number one. And number two, it's a waste of time because I've been holding on to this, and this lady completely forgot about it. It's just like...
Yeah, it doesn't really matter.
And so another thing that we touched during the segment that got lost that I think is very interesting is you talking about your experience with colorism.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, good point.
Colorism.
Because the first time I heard about colorism is that, so she's from South Africa. In Italy, where I'm from, we don't learn pretty much anything about Africa. What we learn is just during the Roman Empire that there was the North African Empire, because we had a battle and we won against them and we conquered them. But so I wanted to know about her, and so I asked her, first of all, of course, because she's black. I was like, so have you witnessed racism, and in which capacity in your life? And she told me, you know, when it got to racism, I was already used to it because I was used to colorism.
Yeah.
I was like, what?
Yeah. And that was weird, because when you asked me, I was just like, I remember the first racist I don't think it was the first one, but for me it was just like, it's just another form of discrimination. That's what it's been.
What is colorism?
So colorism.
What is colorism?
I don't have the dictionary definition of it. It's so the black people. There's the lighter skinned black people, and there's also the darker skinned black people. And normally the lighter skinned black person would be treated better, even like in jobs, or because when you're dark, it's like you dirty, you're
But
not smart.
Is from the white people in South Africa that would treat them better, or is within the black culture?
So black and white is normally racism, but colorism, I feel like it is within the black community. And you also see it in things like in movies and in series. So,
Like, for example, one thing after she told me that I started noticing, have you ever watched Wild 'N Out? Wild 'N Out is an MTV rap/comedy show. It's almost like improv, but with rap. And at the end, they always have this rap battle, and there's these two teams.
Yeah.
And there is this guy, which is very famous, which is called Michael Blackson, which is come from Africa. And 90% of the cast is black. And is hosted by Nick Cannon. And every time, and so basically is roasting each other all the time. There's two teams, and they start roasting each other. That's the game. And it's very entertaining. And they had actually a little bit of controversy during the last year because Nick Cannon, the presenter, said that black people are superior to white people and to Jewish people. So he got into trouble, he got cancelled, and now he's back in. But anyway, what I started...
Because they proved that the black people are actually more superior. He's back in.
And what I noticed is that, for example, with this character, and there's the fat guy, and everyone makes fun of him because he's fat. There's the short because he's short, and there's this guy, which is called Michael Blackson, and they all make fun of him because he's the blackest of the black people.
Okay.
Yeah.
Which definition? You guys read the definition? Yeah. Prejudice or discrimination against individuals with a dark skin tone, typically among people of the same ethnic or racial group.
Yeah, like for example, you told us the story of what happened to you in 8th grade.
Yeah. Grade 8, I was coming from choir. I was super excited. And there was this girl, and she was going to she'd stayed at the hostel, which is also a hostel, which is the dormitories.
Yay.
And we should be walking the same direction. And I'm just talking animated because, we fellow choir members, alto singers, and I was like, oh my God, this is amazing. And I was like, I don't know what I was doing. And she's like, don't talk to me. And I'm like, did I do something wrong? And she's like, no, don't talk to me. Don't look at me. Don't touch me. Because you're so black. Your blackness will make me black as you. And at that time, I was not offended. I was more surprised. It was just like, what? Because for me,
that's crazy.
Grade 8,
that is crazy.
13, at that time, I was like, I should be going into a school with matured people. Well, I didn't.
To make you feel better, ever since I went to high school, a lot of girls were like, don't talk to me, don't touch me, but that was for different reasons.
Yeah, and in Eastern Europe, if they don't want to talk to you, I don't want your stupidity to be...
To rub on me.
To rub on me or to get fucking infected.
When you moved from Kimberley, your hometown, to Cape Town, that wasn't like a light-hearted move because it had consequences.
Yeah.
Because you basically had no money at all. And what happened to most of the girls, the pretty girls that come from small town and they move to Johannesburg and to Cape Town, is that because they have no money, because they have to make money somehow, they got sucked in prostitution and in other bad circles.
You figured out how to get your life story into this as well.
No, but so...
In Italy.
So the thing is, was that a worry you had? Like, because you knew, because you told us that you basically had only the bus ticket and...
400K rupiah.
400K, which is $30? $30.
Big cash.
And that's it.
Yeah.
Actually, yeah, maybe less than $30, whatever. So when you decided to move, first of all, what made you do this jump? And weren't you scared shitless? Broski.
It's all about the shitless part.
The first thing is I had worked for a family that ran an empire, which is the restaurant, the bar. There was even a hotel school. My thing was, what if one day this family decides to close the place? What happens to me? And that was the thing that kept on hitting me, because I had the opportunity to travel to Myanmar and Thailand through the work I did was in hospitality. And for me, that was the first step that showed like the world is bigger, number one. And number two, I just thought that there was more to life. And I always used to describe it as I felt like Superman, and I felt like I was being chained with kryptonite. Yes. So it's like I knew that I had all this power and possibility, but I just didn't know how to. Yeah, I just didn't know how to. And I would say that. And I was like, I feel like there's something, but I don't know how to like.
Yeah. So what were the like the evidence that you thought that there's something? How did you like watching on TV, like how people live, and how do you?
So it was the watching TV. I love TV. Like guys, I'm lazy. Put me in front of a screen and movie and I'm done. But at that time, it was TV, and also my mom. You know, my mom always thought that, and even when I was working in a great advertising agency, and she'd say, "I'm so proud of you," but I've never imagined you sitting behind a desk. I always saw you as more doing other great things. Just that with her also, she didn't know how to get there, and I also didn't know how to get there. But for me, it was, I need to be more. I don't know how to, but I have a plan. Let me go and study. You know, let me just go and study. And going back to your question, wasn't I scared shitless? I didn't have the time to. Like, when you trying to, like, when you know where you're going, when you have a plan, and many of the times people from back home, oh, we're moving to Cape Town, how's it going? I'm like, what are you coming to do here? If you don't know what you're here for, then figure out why you're here. Come for school, come for a job, but don't just come here and just be there, because that's easy for you to get like swept from one place to another, and it's easier like for you to find yourself in bad situations. So again, my mom always came to every pageant, always went to any recital, drama, whatever. And also a great story is that one time when I was a little girl, I think I was 3, and she didn't have enough money. We were in town and she didn't have enough money for us to go home. And so there was this taxi rank. Taxi rank is where it's a depot for buses. Or
bus stop.
Bus station.
No, okay. It's where all the buses.
Yes, would commute, and then you'll go to your
bus
line.
Station,
yeah.
Bus station.
Yeah. So this was mini taxis, mini buses, yes. And so she didn't have enough money. So she was like, okay, music, there's always music playing. And then she's like, dance. And I danced. I broke it down. I killed it. And she had enough money.
Demonstration? No, okay.
How did they give the money? They like, did your mom walk around with a hat and shit?
No. Apparently, it was a thing that I did. So, and I think I still do it now when I hear music.
When you don't have enough money at the groceries.
No.
It's a thing I still do. I go to the strip place and then I go to get my groceries.
No, every time there's a song.
We have something in common.
In common, yes.
Yeah.
Every time there's a beat or a song, I can't stop myself. I just feel like it's just like doop doop, and I'm like doop doop.
Yeah,
you know,
it's in your body. It's electricity.
I love dancing.
Like Billy Elliot said, it's electricity. It's like electricity.
I don't have it.
Yeah, well,
no, I'm sorry, baby.
You have something else.
Yeah. And so I love dancing, and apparently it was not the first time it had happened, but the first times it was not like intentional. So this time she did it intentional. I didn't think she stood there with the thing. I think she just stood there, and then people will be like, here.
So that's called child labor. Just saying.
Started from 3 years early. Well done, Toko.
So basically what you're saying is that you were used to the struggle, so you knew that no matter what you were going to survive in Cape Town?
I knew that I had a goal. The idea was get to school. And then every week or every month there'll be a new goal, you know, get another job. Or depending on how big the situation is go to school. Okay, cool, go to school. Oh shit, you need to pay rent. Okay, get a job. Oh shit, this job is not enough to pay rent, and I also want to start paying school fees, and I need a textbook. Okay, get another job, you know. And so everything always had a
but it's like in the same time you had a goal, but it wasn't about graduating so much. It was about, okay, get in the school and see what the fuck's going on, and then you're like, oh, okay, actually if I drop out it wouldn't be a big deal.
Oh no. The thing is, first grandchild, me, firstborn child, right? So it would have been, I would have had been the first person to get a degree in the family. Let's start there.
Now we're talking.
So it was important for me to get the degree. And
I'm probably the first one in 4th generation who didn't get a degree.
Hey, broski.
Because I dropped out of law school.
so it was very important for me to get the degree. And for example, I wanted to go to like the public universities where you pay less or you get a bursary. But for you to qualify, you need to be either super smart or super poor, you know. For
you were neither.
And I was
You're like, damn it, I'm not poor enough.
I'm almost made to be poor enough.
Yes.
What about smart part? No.
I'm
yeah,
like,
no.
I am, but fuck, who's
But
wants
I can
to
dance.
spend?
Not even close.
And also, it's like, who wants to study all the time? Like, I was like, I am not that kind of girl.
Okay. Well, question though: if you were such a dancer and everything, why you didn't pursue being a performer? Why did you said marketing because I like to convince people? But
how's that an option when? Wait, like, how am I gonna go and learn, like, to go and be a dancer? Firstly, when now you know that you need to go to a dance school, and Kimberly didn't have like a dance
So it
school.
wasn't
and
But
But
also,
it's
for
not
example,
an option. You need a job, bro.
one thing, what happened to her is that she also had in her life options like, of course, one of the most famous South African is Charlize Theron, the actress.
Oh yeah, I did have the opportunity to go to Milan, dude.
what's the name?
Charlize Theron.
Charlize Theron.
Theron.
Charlize is
Theron.
she's
Theron.
gorgeous.
Charlize Theron.
She did one of the last Fast and Furious. She did a bunch of
She's
movies.
gorgeous.
She did The
don't know?
Immortals.
Yeah. What's wrong with you? How do you not know Charlize Theron?
No. I got it. You guys talk.
That's
Theron.
whatever. Jamie, pull it up.
I know.
So-
Okay, so oh yes, so I had a couple of opportunities. I had some opportunities through the modeling also. This guy who was the scout for Charlize Theron. Yes.
I know this.
Come on.
Recognize the actress. Yeah.
Yes.
One of the last films was Old Guards. Super big budget
Yes,
film.
yes.
Yeah. I almost worked on it. Doesn't count.
Almost doesn't count.
Sorry. Go.
But the budget wasn't big enough to have you in the movie.
Exactly. They just couldn't afford me. My trailer was too fancy.
I love that. Oh,
You all right?
I can't hear myself here, but it's fine.
Okay. You just can hear one side.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's okay.
Stick it back.
Let's
Probably came out.
Oh, there we go.
Let's keep
Perfect.
going.
Awesome. Okay, so opportunities to go and model abroad. I think there was 2 or 3. And many of the times people I'd ask for donations. I'll go to governments and be like, yo, dude, this is a big thing for our town. Like, can you sponsor me for me too, you know? And many of the times it was a fat no. And also the skill of me, also another thing which maybe did not help.
Just finish the concept. You were a little bit all over the place. So basically, she got
That's
scouted.
Toko.
Yeah. So basically, she got scouted as a model, and she had the opportunity to move to Milan
All right.
And in America.
and in the US, but she didn't have the means to
Get the
make
bus ticket. No,
Yeah,
the plane
she-
ticket.
To America to get a bus ticket.
To
No,
get it.
yeah,
That
exactly.
would
To
be-
get a plane.
To get a plane.
She had only the means for the bus, and then that's about it. And so she had to renounce these opportunities.
Yeah.
Oh shit! So
Yeah.
so you said you asked for the support for the kind of the local
from
local council and
government,
stuff like that.
and stuff like that.
But still, when she came when she moved to Cape Town with all the job that she was doing, she was working full time. Still, she managed to be within the first 24 of Miss South Africa.
Yeah.
And also to have several TV spots.
But,
So,
the ads.
Anything
TV
you do, you're just amazing. Almost just like your boyfriend.
Besides the love life.
Maybe you're awesome.
No, I was talking about you in your love life. You're not good. That's what I mean.
You mentioned you have 2 sisters, right?
Yes, I
Two
do,
sisters.
my babies.
So they're much younger. How old are they?
The middle one is 22. She's turning 23 this year. And then the baby just turned 18, but she went to school way too early. So she's in university her first year. Actually, yesterday was her first day at school. university.
What is their how do they look at you and they're like, our sister, she's awesome, like she's done all these cool things?
Because also consider this, like for us, it's weird. It's not weird, but it's unusual. Oh, he lives in Bali. It's something like, whoa. But for
none of my family knows where the fuck I'm at.
Okay. But, so that's similar. Like for Italy, like my family is, I had my brother living in China and I lived in many different countries. So it's like, oh, wow, you live in Bali.
Yeah.
But for Kimberly, it's like, no, you're crazy. Like, what are you doing there? Like, what the fuck is that?
I feel like it's also like where do you live? In Bali? Bali, Indonesia. Wait, what? I'm like, go to I normally send a map.
Go.
Like this is where I'm at. Wait, well, how did you get there? And then I'm like, work. Yeah.
Right.
So
Cool.
my sisters, the one thing, if anyone had to ask me what's my greatest achievement in life,
Me.
my sisters.
We need a curtain here so we just get close. He takes a nap and then he's just like, hello, I'm here too.
My sisters.
Me.
My babies.
So your greatest achievement is your boyfriend. Tell us about your boyfriend, please.
My sisters are amazing. Like, I love how they've grown to become their own people. And Thokozile, I'm Thokozile. My full name means happy. In
Thokozile.
Zulu, Thokozile.
That means happy.
Yes.
I'm very Thokozile. Are you Thokozile?
Sure.
And then my sister's name is Thokozile, which is the comforter, which is so fitting for her because I'm always happy, but she's always like the homemaker. She always like brings us together. She's the
It means comforter.
yeah, comforter.
Oh,
like
wow.
Duduzi, like you.
I'm very doozy.
You comfort yourself very often.
Yes.
Yes.
And then the baby's name is Ntombi Zodwa.
Don't be Zodwa.
Yes.
Don't be an asshole.
Don't be Zodwa. So Zodwa means exactly asshole. So it's don't be Zodwa.
It actually
What does that
means,
mean?
Girls only. So Ntombi,
Girls only?
Yeah, because my mom loved it.
And that's how she became a lesbian. Because girls only and...
Is she a lesbian?
Well, she
She's
was.
confused.
No,
and-
she
was.
found Jesus now.
Yeah.
She used to be, now she found Jesus and now she likes
So
dick.
she's straight now.
Hello, don't be Zodwa.
Love
Hope you like
shout
that
out.
dick.
Oh.
Sorry.
It's still my baby.
It is. It's not a baby
No,
anymore.
she's a baby.
So you
Yeah.
mentioned your sisters. You mentioned mom. What about your dad?
My dad is... That man made me fall in love like with reading and intellectual. We used to have so many
So,
intellectual conversations.
Your dad used to be a police officer.
Yes, my dad was a police officer for
and
like
also,
20 years.
so
20.
he used to be a police officer, and well, you moved around quite a bit.
Yes, we did.
But at the time that he was a police officer, she was living in a part of town which was very, very, very gang heavy.
No, that was my early life. Like when my dad was a policeman, that's when I lived in the suburb where I walked to school, which was okay.
Yeah, but you told me the story of walking back to school and almost getting killed.
Which one is that? Because that was when I was younger.
Then I don't know. You lied to me,
I did
apparently.
not lie to you. What was the story? Because you've been telling stories, but then they're not accurate, and I've told you the story, and now you mix them up.
Because I kind of listened to you, but not that much. Or walking back at night with the other girl and the gang that wanted to rape you first.
No. That was church. You see, you don't listen. I was.
You almost got raped in church.
No, church. I was a big church girl at some point. I was like youth choir, youth stuff. And then me and a girl used to walk home, but because it was in the township, and I don't know if you guys know, Google shacks, South African shacks. It's corrugated iron houses that are like super small.
Like
but,
containers.
Not containers. Containers are much nicer.
Okay.
But I also think corrugated iron houses are pretty nice. Let's see. Yeah, that's a shack.
It's like Slumdog Millionaire. What was the slums?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
So I lived in the township, and it would be quite dangerous in the evening. So
you lived in those?
Yeah. So you need to walk in a bit of way worse than what mine was, because mine was a bit like better. But so
it was
I need
the
to
fancy
walk,
shack.
You need to pass that, and then and we had just gotten it was a government house, so it was a house that was built by government, but still there was quite a bit of it. You first passed the shack for me to get to my house. So one night we came from the choir and we didn't want to go all the way around. So we decided, you know what, we'd go very stupid. We would go through this squatter because there were some people that we knew, you know. And then this group of guys out of the blue, and at that time I was wearing my school uniform.
How old were you?
15, 14, 15. Yeah. And because I was still wearing...
Yeah, so that camera just died.
Oh, okay. Cool.
I decided Taco just talks too much.
I agree with the camera.
And so that night we, like I said, we walked and these guys stopped us and they're like, yo. And again, like I said, the school that I went to was very good, which was amazing. My mom didn't take crap. She wanted to take us to good schools. And because I had that school, it was like, it's easy. It means I've got money or I have a phone or I have something of value. And then these guys were like, yo, what's up? Like, you know, they became rough. And then one of them was like, because it was dark and I'm dark.
Became rough. What you mean? That
like,
don't scream to the mic, please. That you were afraid for your life. You were afraid that they were gonna kill you. That they were gonna rape you.
Yes, all the above.
Because you looked so calm and natural when you talk about these things.
Because it happened.
You see, you know, that's why when I talk about things that happened to me or in Italy, she's like, you know, like she's seen people decapitated literally, and to her is kind of normal. Like, yeah, they go rough. What does it mean? That they were about to kill her and rape her?
Well, in South Africa, is notorious. I have a couple of friends, one from stunt industry, another girl from acting, and this girl told me a story that she comes home and with her husband, and then they get attacked in their house. Husband gets stabbed in front of her, dies, and she gets stabbed as well, but she survived. And then she, you know, she's like, I need to move away, and so she moved to UK and all that stuff. Yeah, but there's like these stories you hear. I mean, it's incredible. So, which I wanted to ask you, like, how is the violence, like in the last 10 years, 20 years? It's been like being worse or getting better, and if it is getting better, why? Or if it's getting worse, then why?
I think the answer to the why is it's always like poverty. There's a big gap between the richest people and the poorest people. And also, I think as years go by, people want quick money. You know, like you see, now people have information here in their hands and they see a 23-year-old being like doing amazing things and they don't want to like go through I'm not going to be like my parents who worked flipping lots of hours and stuff. There must be an easier way of doing this thing. So I think the crime may have become more intelligent. Also with the human trafficking, but again, now the biggest one is gender-based violence, femicides.
What do you mean with the human trafficking? Like, again, you say, yeah, there's human trafficking, and people steal purses. Is on the same thing. Like, for me, those things are so like, what? Human trafficking? Like, what the fuck? And you're like, yeah, human trafficking. It happens. I sold a couple of babies last year. You know.
Well, but I think like anyone who talks about South Africa, and for me, the first time when I heard some stories, just like I told you one now, you know, it's like you get used to it that in South Africa there's been a lot of violence, and also when the apartheid, when you know Mandela and all that changes what were happening, there was a lot of violence.
Well, it's human nature. You tend to normalize things that happen.
Yeah. So here's the answer why she just easily talk about that.
What was the question again?
It's okay. So now.
Yes, it has gotten
better.
Worse, but no. Worse.
Worse. Nice.
But now the biggest one that we found is gender-based violence, where femicide, to be specific, like when men are unhappy with their wives, girlfriends, they kill them. Like it has happened so often. Now Twitter in South Africa, that's why I always go, and I'm so sad when I go back to Twitter, South African Black Twitter, there's specific. There's so many girls who go missing, you know. It's like I've not seen my sister in 2 days, you know. I've not seen,
for example, are you afraid for your sisters?
Very much. They just moved to Johannesburg. The baby just moved to Johannesburg.
And Johannesburg, if I'm correct, is the one with the highest crime rate in all of South Africa, and one of the highest in the world.
Because it's also very populated. Obviously, it's very packed. So that's going to happen.
No, but like per capita.
Per capita.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Yeah. So I worry about her a lot. Like yesterday, for example, I had sent her a message the day before and she'd not said anything. And I panicked and I asked the medical sister, have you spoken to Zola? And I'm like, yeah. And I was like, dude, answer me when I talk to you because
And
now
of
she has
course,
Wi-Fi.
and of course, Dudu answered you because she's the comforter. The other
And
is.
she's the middle person. And yeah, but I worry
I thought
about...
it was funny. Sorry. You looked at me like, don't ever talk again, motherfucker.
I worry about my
I'm concerned that all the batteries are dead and
All right.
camera's not
So
working.
now to end up,
Yeah.
so you made the transition, Kimberley to Cape Town. Now, Cape Town to Bali. So another country, another continent, another life. Did you get the same support from home? And was this choice harder or easier? That's Frankie Frank, by the way,
Frankie.
the gecko.
Our home
Just
gecko.
so someone thinks that we're not in Bali. That's
Yeah,
proof.
for people that don't know Bali, basically, because in Italy, geckos are very private. They don't talk a lot. Here in Bali, they scream all the fucking time. Like in the middle of the night, you'll be hearing, and that's what they do.
I think they're so cute.
I don't know if it's like a mating sound
But
or.
he does it every morning and every night. Or
No,
maybe
and
that's the
he's
time.
like he's my alarm clock every
Yeah, he
morning at
does.
6.
Oh, perfect.
He's
Yeah.
proper on time.
Perfect. I used to have a rooster. I wanted to kill that fucker. It's like he goes like 150 times. Yeah.
Yes.
Moving to Bali.
Moving to Bali. My mom, my dad didn't like the idea because he's like, oh, you just got your dream job. You just got a job, like a full-time
Yeah, that's what I
proper
would
job,
say.
you
That's
know?
what I
Makes
would
sense.
think. And what the hell's going on?
Makes sense. It's
And
like,
she said, and she sent a picture of me, and she was like, "Yeah, but
I traded for this, and her dad was like the biggest mistake ever.
exactly."
That's that's the nickname for you now. How do you say
biggest
biggest mistake in?
no, we're not mean like that. But let me tell
No,
you the
but how
story.
do you say the?
How do you say it
African?
in
in which
in Africa?
Like Thokozile is happy. In
I was
which
afraid
language?
to ask because I didn't know what is this language you
Like
speak.
Thokozile
Toko?
is happy in which language?
wait, let me think about it.
You don't know it?
No, I'm just thinking what mistake is because
No, but
we have
in which language is Thokozile?
it's in Zulu.
Okay.
Zulu.
So in Zulu, how do you say
Didn't
big?
I tell you that I can't speak?
How do you say big?
Like Zulu is not my
Okay,
strongest language.
say it in Afrikaans. For all we know,
Groot, Afrikaans.
for all we know, you can just invent a word and we'll be like,
oh yeah, that
interesting.
is.
What is a mistake in Afrikaans again? I don't remember.
Chris, that's in
Yeah.
Italian.
Exactly, just like Chris.
Didn't you just say we should just end the podcast? Can I finish the last question?
No, we're gonna do one more song, and I want to talk about Toastmasters quickly.
Okay,
at least
cool.
10 minutes.
Cool.
Yeah, so we finish
Do you
this.
need to...
Section.
Yeah.
Come on,
Do
just
that.
answer quickly. Answer the question.
Okay, now shush.
Moving to Bali.
Shush.
Moving to Bali.
Go. Now.
I'm gonna kill this man. I'm gonna kill this man. Moving to Bali.
What do you do,
was-
guys, in bedroom? That's your thing.
I know you want to join. Moving to Bali.
Moving to Bali.
Are you done?
Come on, we're running out of time. Come on.
I'm waiting for Nas to finish laughing.
Go.
Moving to Bali. Firstly, my dad was not happy about it because I had just gotten a good job. My mom, like I said, she always supported me in everything that I did, but she was also quite concerned because it was quite far away. You know, Cape Town was far, but she could take 11-minute bus drive to get to
Hours,
Israel.
not 11 minutes.
11
I was like,
11
Karen was
hour.
close, 11 minutes.
11-hour bus
That's
drive.
very specific. Not 10 minutes, 11 minutes.
To get
But even
to-
when you say 11 hours, like, that's not fucking close.
yeah.
In Latvia, like, it's 3 hours ride. Like, that's long. 3 hours. That's
Y'all are spoiled. But my sisters were excited and they were encouraging. But for me, it was exciting because I would be reunited with my boo thing. And, but I thought from the get-go, I would kill it, be the badass bitch, but it was quite the transition because I think it's one of those things that with every environment, because I've been used to the fast-paced working. I didn't know what my hobbies were. I didn't know if I liked stuff or didn't like stuff. And I get here and I find people.
she likes stuff.
And she comes here and she finds people.
And I find people who like I don't know, people are so relaxed. Everybody's like, hobbies. Look, I surf. I'm a
It's a mad culture shock.
Completely. It's
No,
completely different.
and also consider this, that she came at a weird time anyway, because, you know, pandemic times are...
And it's way more peaceful than it usually is.
Yeah, I couldn't take the piece. But it's getting better now. Like, I'm starting to be busy myself and faff around with stuff. But...
Speaking of which...
Speaking of stuff.
One of the things, what are you doing? You're doing Toastmasters.
Yes.
When I just met you, we kind of like, you mentioned about that, and then we found out that Chris used to do Toastmasters. He used to be a president. He used to be a president
of 2 clubs.
Of course, 5 in the same time. He never turned up there.
I opened the club in Ubud. Thank you very much.
How many people came? It was you?
No, it was actually packed. Before the pandemic, the one in Canggu, we had at least 40-50 people every night.
Oh, wow.
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 That's amazing.
Well, I've done Toastmasters as well for like about 13 years, started in Canada and stuff. And I think it's an amazing organization.
And he's never been a president, by the way, in 13
I never wanted to deal with all that crap.
I didn't want to.
So tell me, what happened? What was the reason? Was it because of this?
I had wanted to do Toastmasters back in South Africa, but the hours were just weird. They had a Toastmasters meeting at about 7 a.m, and I'm like, I'm already at the office at that time.
What happened is that I wanted her to get out of the house because I was sick of her. And so I was like, yeah, why don't you go to Toastmasters?
It's amazing.
On our first date, he had mentioned that he was the president of Toastmasters. I was like...
How many times did he mention you that?
No, it was once, but it was like, I felt like it was one of those...
Which camera? Like the other one died.
I think it was just one of those things of a sign. I don't know. I've never been one for signs and omens, but I was like, what are the chances of meeting someone? Like, I wanted to do Toastmasters, and
talking to me, she saw a very big sign. Like, sorry. I apologize.
Out.
Leave.
Time out. Both.
Everything.
And so...
no. The other one, this. Snap. Sorry, Taco. Boys.
You're so, like, come on, let her talk. This is my sex toy. Leave it.
No, which side? This one or this one?
This is to scratch the asshole when it gets punchy.
And then there's someone's head you stick up your ass.
Yeah, to see inside, to peek.
It's like a submarine. Beep beep. What is going on? A lot of shit. Where's the G spot? Sorry.
I have a T spot.
Toastmasters, Taco.
Toastmaster spot. That's
tell us
what
about
I meant.
your
I have a Toastmaster spot.
journey.
And so, because as much as I did pageants and...
1 second, if I have to interrupt, but before...
No shit.
No. Before we have to say, what is Toastmaster? Many people don't know what Toastmasters... Boom! That was a good... Yo.
Dear Toastmasters president, please explain what Toastmasters is.
You've been 13 years, so please explain.
I thought you should be doing it. You should be doing it.
Okay, Toastmasters is a public speaking organization, but it's more than just public speaking. They focus on leadership, communication, and networking.
I'm helping you.
Okay.
We're supporting you. If you would have pom-poms, we'd go with us.
And so... and it's international. So, like I said, I knew about it from South Africa, and you did it in Canada. And
so there are Toastmaster.
Thanks, Toko, for telling us the
Toastmaster is present in more than 130 countries. Oh. It has something like 500,000 plus members. Over thousands and thousands of clubs. Is a non-profit organization.
Yeah, that's an important point, actually.
Yeah, and actually it's called Toastmaster because he was born in the U.S. Over a century ago, and he started with young gentlemen doing toasts, and that's how he started. And actually, when he started, women were not allowed.
Assholes.
Yes.
So they used to have these clubs they call the YMCA clubs. It's a young young boys club, and that's where they started doing the Toastmasters.
And then it became...
Yeah, and became a thing. And because back in the days, it's all about... yeah, that's why it became YMCA. Exactly, nice one. let's do a toast.
Oh my God.
So today I prepared the best toast ever, guys. But yeah, because back in the days, and even now, I don't know how you guys had this experience, but we had a lot of guys joining Toastmasters just because they have a best man speech.
Yeah.
And that's very typical in the United Kingdom, because in UK, that's where I did it for about 7 years. In UK, best man speech is super important, and these guys get so nervous, they have no idea how to do it. And it's about like 10 minutes or whatever the speech is, and that's the reason why they come and join the Toastmasters.
That's cool.
That's interesting.
That's cool. That's very interesting.
But you're not the best woman, so why did you join Toastmasters?
I was terrified of speaking in public, and
That was a good transition. Broski.
surprise, surprise, I was afraid of speaking in public whenever someone is like, Toko, and I'm like, but it's weird because in pageants, but
You can't stop talking. What the hell?
no, but when
I
it's with friends,
wish you
it's
didn't start
great.
coming to Toastmasters.
I think with friends and like people I know, it's okay. But the moment it's like,
But for
people
example,
that
one thing that she
don't
had to
know.
work on in Toastmasters is that when she first started, every time she had to speak in public, she would go into pageant mode, and she would be like, "So."
That's not how I did it.
So tell me how you do it. Do a pageant speech.
Pageant mode, Toastmasters, go.
Ask me your question.
What is most important, peace in the world or?
Thank you very much for the question.
What?
I believe that. Do you hear like? I believe that the important thing in the world is peace, because we come from different countries, and it's just very hard for everybody. Even though I'm bullshitting,
You
I'll
see
speak
the
like this.
voice change.
like-
She cannot speak.
Is that so? That's your pageant mode.
Yeah, that's that.
Oh,
I started talking.
So
in pageant mode.
even in Toastmaster they would say, okay,
I was like a Miss Universe. Like I want
Yeah.
peace everywhere.
Exactly.
Everyone is happy.
And everything is positive. Everything
And no
is good.
AIDS. The most important, no AIDS. Just for my competitors. You bitch die.
So yeah, that would be and every answer is very pleasant and happy and
Yeah. Just over the top.
A lot of people ask me, because of course I'm a pro, how do you speak so good in public? And I always suggest people to start joining a Toastmaster club. First of all, because it's basically no cost.
Yeah.
Or
Very
little,
small,
yeah.
little fee. Yeah.
And it really helps out if you want to become a better public speaker and a leader. And it's just awesome. And it's also an awesome way to meet like-minded people.
100%. It's a networking.
Proper.
That was you mentioned.
Proper.
Yeah. 100%.
Proper.
And how do you feel like? How is it? How's the
Race.
vibe here in Bali with this? I mean, you have nothing really to compare with because you didn't try it.
No.
Well,
at home.
No.
but you, thanks to the pandemic, you joined a couple of American Toastmaster meetings.
Yeah. That was interesting.
What, doing through Zoom?
Yeah,
Yeah,
because
through Zoom.
now everyone, like actually the one we have in Bali is one of the few one that is still,
Just like our stand-up.
yeah, broski.
It goes Polski.
The bromance is real.
Oh, it's there.
How can I turn
You
off
see
the
how we
mic?
just how we woke up that we start talking about something what are we actually interested in.
So what we
I was interested in her. Shut the fuck up. I want
And
to
you
get
were
laid
literally
tonight.
like-
you were half asleep most of.
Yeah, especially when we had to repeat the segment.
I know. I was falling asleep having to repeat. the
Have you
segment.
done how many speeches you done? We have a competitor communicator, which is 10 speeches. How many of them you done? CC.
I've done 4.
Done 4.
But in Toastmaster every
Nine,
year there's
4.
a competition,
Yeah.
and she joined a stable topic, which is impromptu speak.
2.5 minutes or 2 minutes.
2 minutes. Well, no, there's,
2.5,
there's an
I think.
extra
Yeah.
15.
allowances. And she passed to the next stage.
Sick.
Now she's
Going
gonna
to
compete.
district.
Now she's gonna compete with all of East Java and the rest of Indonesia.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's
Frank is
awesome.
back.
Exciting.
Now,
Competition is good, yeah, because it adds a little bit of more pressure. But then you also, again, you can meet other people. You can see something
be on
outside
Zoom.
your club.
But yeah.
Yeah, I competed a couple of times as well, and it's a lot of fun.
yeah, you probably did shit. And with that, I think, is there anything a message that you want to
No.
wait, let me pump it up. if there's anything that really resonates with your soul and you want the people to hear because it's a message that is important that you have, we don't have any more time. So thank you, Renars.
Now, one of the things what this podcast is kind of what me and Chris were discussing about is it's interesting to see the breaking points, why people decide to totally change their environment. In your case, got this amazing job out of like these no opportunities whatsoever, and it was really tough to get where you got. But then you said, is this my life? And this is where I could totally say I had exactly the same story. I had job, I had girlfriend, I had everything, but in the morning I wake up, I'm like, is this my life? This is it?
Yeah.
That's the question.
Yeah.
So once and you say it was gut, it was just like that inner feeling that, and I love the analogy with the Superman, and then the Krypton is around and you can't get out of it.
Yeah.
Krypton is the planet. Kryptonite.
But she had whole planet. It was that tough. It was that rough. Me and you, we had kryptonite because we were from developed countries and all that shit.
This is the first and last episode. So.
When Chris is here, because next time, this guy.
Now he's going to be with them. And
Yeah. So yeah, what would be that message for other South Africans, other Africans, other people from less privileged countries? Would you say follow your dreams and shit, or
don't come to Bali because I want to be the baddest bitch from South Africa?
Yeah, I don't need competition here.
That's a tough one. I've not really thought about it as me. As a pageant answer, I would have been able to get it fast. But as a message, saying follow your dreams, sometimes it's not a good idea because you don't have, like, the opportunities don't present themselves. You know what it is? Trust in the universe. I think this sounds very weird.
Shit. She's just not said that.
Shut up. Listen.
And that's how our relationship ended.
You're going to ask and you're going to be given.
Listen, it's not even in the universe. It's in your God. It's in your skills. It's in yourself. Whatever. Because, listen, shut up.
Listen to the universe,
You're
baby.
being rude,
what
baby.
is the universe telling you right now?
You're being rude. That's what the universe is telling me. You're being very rude and mean.
When you said like that some people don't have opportunities, but you proved that you created that opportunity.
But many of the times is you find the opportunity and you make it work. But sometimes it's also like having the support. Because I don't think I would have been strong enough to go for the things that I wanted if the support was not there.
Right.
You know, just having my mom or my sisters saying, actually, you could do it. And like, if you say I can, I don't quite believe it, but let's do this. You know, many of the pageants, my mom would like, enter this. And I'd be like, yeah. And then she'd be like, yeah, just do it, girl. Just do it. So
it's a combination of everything. It's like creating a nice, lovely lasagna like you did a couple of days ago. You have everything. And he sends me a freaking photo and just like...
Yeah, instead of like dick pics, I send lasagna
instead
pics.
of like inviting me for dinner, he just sends me like, look at this, what I did. Yeah, that was a perfect... And I said,
was so proud.
I gotta come tomorrow to have it. Yeah,
it was done by breakfast the next day.
But it's a combination of everything. Like you have a salt and pepper and everything, and we're just so lucky that we have those conditions, kind of the stars lined up perfectly.
But easy luck though. Easy though.
But I feel like it's also that thing of have a vision, have a goal, and then just follow the process. Like just let it.
Yeah, exactly.
Let it go. Like,
for some people, that's how simple it is. For me, that's simple it is. For other people, it's not.
Yeah,
Look at this guy.
I think that
in hindsight, it's simple.
I'm talking.
Yes, you are the whole time.
I think it's too simplistic to say, oh yeah, just follow. No, simplistic. Just follow, because to many people, it doesn't work out.
Yeah.
So the thing is, and you know, it's always easy when things work out to say, oh yeah, it just happened because I believed. Is it though? Like, I think things are more complicated. Of course, if you don't believe it in the first place, it's not going to happen.
Yeah.
But to me, it's not going to happen because you believe. The belief is the minimum requirement.
Yeah.
And then you need to work hard. And then you need the luck.
You need to work your ass off. Yeah.
And then you need the planets to align, and you can call it whatever it is.
Absolutely.
But just because you believe in something, that doesn't really mean shit.
And also,
that's the starting point.
The other thing what I want to say about just to work hard and believe is going to happen, that's also a mistake, because very often people, and I love this analogy. Have you heard the story about the frog which jumped in a sour cream? So it jumps in a pot of sour cream.
Is it a
Is that
European
a sex
thing?
joke?
No, it's not. So this frog jumps in the sour cream. So and instead of just stopping moving and just okay, that's it, I'm giving up, I'm dying, I'm gonna drown here. This frog starts just staring it, and eventually it becomes into a solid butter. So the frog gets on it and jumps out. So it's a very old school story, right? So this is a story about work hard and you're gonna get the results. But there's another story which I came up with, which is fucking amazing. It's about
I like that he came up with the story and said it's amazing.
No.
I thought about it and it's amazing.
It's about the fly, and you've seen this so many times that fly hits against the glass over and over and over, and we know this fly never gonna get through. But if this fly is gonna change trajectory and move around and try to find a hole, it's gonna get out.
I don't think it's yours.
So
I already heard this story.
Now this is a question.
Toastmaster.
Now this is a question. If you change your trajectory, so you try this, it doesn't work. You try that, it doesn't work, and then you can move around.
So what Renars is telling you basically is, if you find a new boyfriend, probably things are gonna work out better. That's the moral of the story today.
Exactly. So listen, guys, this is our first podcast with a guest.
Love you.
I
made lasagna.
It hardly counts as a guest because this person lives in this house, and
So you're the guest.
so I'm
You the guest.
pretty much. No, I thought I'm part of a family already,
Furniture, more likely.
Furniture.
You're more like a
Furniture.
pet.
like a pet.
Yeah, I like
Oh
that
my
one
God.
better. Yeah.
I'm competing with the gecko. What was his name?
Frankie.
Frankie Frank.
Frankie Frank. Okay, well, thank you so much, Toko.
Thank
Chris.
you guys. Thank you for having
And
me.
as always, eat your vegetables.
This is not a podcast. Boom.
Shakalaka. Broski. You're not a broski.
No. No, thank you.
She's not
Perfect
a broski.
ending.
Nope.
She's not a broski.